In today's consumerist-driven world, it's not unusual for people to attach values to objects of all kinds. But how does one measure the worth of something that has been discarded and thereby rendered useless? Find out in this episode as we link up with artist Seo Young-duk, spin fantasies out of aluminium cans, and build a styrofoam house in Yokohama. We'll also check out the recycled masterpieces on display at the Singapore National Library and hit the books with Chen Long Bin in Taipei. In the most populous province of South Korea, an artist is using chains to make a statement about modern society and bringing recycling to greater heights.
찾던 도중에 이제 우연치 않게 이제 버려진 체인을 발견해서 작업을 시작하게 되었습니다.
Since graduating from the Department of Environmental Sculpture at the University of Seoul, Seo Young-duk has stirred up the international art scene with thought-provoking works that have been exhibited from Seoul to Istanbul. This morning, Seo Young-duk is busy moving his artwork to a museum for an exhibition. The process is swift but careful, as his babies are intricately put together, one small piece of recycled material at a time. The impenetrable appearances of his sculptures are made out of bicycle chains. Put together seamlessly like jigsaw puzzle pieces, Young-duk's artwork is bought by private collectors, museums and art foundations.
대학교를 다니면서 이제 미술대학을 나왔는데 이제 금속 작업을 했었는데 이제 그때 일반적인 다른 어떤 판재라든가 아니면 그냥 일반적인 재료를 사용하기가 싫어서.
In 2009, Young-duk came in first at the National Undergraduate and Graduate Student Sculpture Competition. He has since come into his own as an artist with a unique perspective.
이제 제 작업의 주요 이야기가 인간 대 인간의 관계에 대해서 이야기하고 있지. 그래서 이 작업은 그런 인간 대 인간의 그 관계에서 거기서 오는 그런 자기 존재감의 상실, 혹은 거기에서 오는 무슨 박탈감이라든가 고뇌, 괴로움, 그런 것들이 이제 이런 사슬이라는 오브제를 사용해서 같이 인체와 함께 표현합니다.
His work focuses on the dark side of man, capturing the anxieties of the people in today's society, utilizing different types of chains. The young artist sees each piece as a representation of a human cell, and his art speaks of man's contamination by materials of the modern world. Thousands of metal chains are welded together to make a sculpture, which can take as long as 1 year to complete.
우리 인체가 이제 면이 나뉘었잖아요. 여기에 곡선이 있듯이 이제 이거 긴 한 줄을 이제 다 사용하기가 힘들어요. 이걸로 이제 면을 표현하는 게 이제 꺾이는 부분이 서로 달라서 이제 그걸 표현하기 위해서 이제 조그맣게 이제 잘라서 이제 조립을 다시 하는 거예요. 이런 식으로.
The human body is the form of a temple where Young-duk draws spiritual inspiration. And this can clearly be seen in the stunning realism of his artworks.
그런 형상 자체를 보고 현대인의 거울을 보는 듯한 그런 느낌을 받았으면 좋겠습니다. 자신의 모습을 바라보는 듯한 느낌을 받았으면 좋겠습니다.
Just like Young-duk and his chain sculptures, our next artist has found an innovative way of giving unwanted aluminum cans a new twist. Japan is a global leader on many fronts, and when it comes to recycling steel cans, the nation is hard to beat. A short drive from Tokyo in the city of Chiba, An artist has been helping to keep the recycling rate up for a quarter of a century.
もうアルミニウムなんか板使うよりは最初から缶の形が面白いのと安いですよね。ただみたいなもんだからね。だからそれをうまく使ってやろうということなんです。
A graduate of Tokyo University of Art and Design, Noboru Suda has enthralled audiences across Japan with delightful artworks made from discarded beverage cans.
そうですね。缶を通してね、空き缶を通して、リサイクルといえばですね、溶かせばまた再生できるんだけれども、形あるものをいつまでも大事に、どこまでも大事にしてあげるという。私はいつも形は命だと思ってるんですよ。でそこにある色は輝きだっていうのが私の絵に対する絵じゃないこういう工作に対するものの考え方。
Having made a name for himself in the city, Noboru receives donations of aluminum cans from local schools, bars, and noodle stores.
一番最初ね、私は先生してたから美術の先生してたんで、どんな子供の教材を考えたりしてる時にですね、生まれてきてる缶を見てて面白い形だから、これからなんか作れるんじゃないかなっていうのがありましたね。缶がやたら捨てられて、ゴミのように扱われてましたんでね、これもったいないじゃないかという思いもあったんですね。
With a few seemingly simple twists, clips, snips, and assembly using a hot glue gun, waste becomes art. Corrosive fluid gives the shiny surfaces an almost instant Gothic feel. In the main house, Noboru reveals his love of the art form.
これはね、中缶で、これ飴が入ってた缶ですね。キャラメル。ね、でこれは何でしょうね。多分トマトケチャップとかそういうの。ね、でこの辺になると、これは紅茶の缶。紅茶。そういうものをこうくっつけてって作ってですね。窓はコーヒーの缶コーヒー。
Making his way upstairs, the artist opens the door to an attic full of sculptures, all made out of metal cans. Growing up in Hokkaido and its Western architecture, combined with his travels in Europe, inspired a lifetime of creating these Gothic artworks.
見えたんですよ、散歩してたら。そしたら月が出てたんで、その月と遠くの山の稜線の方に見える建物、これを全部そっくり持ってきてもう作品にしちゃったというテーマなんです。これは空想の動物というか生き物なんですけれども、下半身が女性の足になってて、そしてハイヒール履いてます、ね、そして真ん中この辺が動物で、上は男性の顔になってます。
With a body of work amounting to over 4,000 pieces, his fantasy airships, goddesses, trains, and mansions cost between tens to thousands of dollars each.
これもなんかあれ見せればよかったな。これ瓶ビールの蓋、王冠って言ってますけど、王冠を10個こう少し縮めてってこうつなげてるだけなの、糊でくっつけてる。そしてこれは羊ですけどね、羊、天使になった羊というテーマなんです。で顔も、王冠で作って、羽も王冠で作ってます。全部王冠、尻尾もつながってますので取れないように作る。それから足だけは缶ビールの蓋ですね、プルタブですね、プルタブ、それを使ってやってます。
Working with children in an art workshop this summer, the artist would be creating an entire town using waste aluminium cans. In spite of his age, his rich imagination is unmatched. With such fertile imagination to inspire him, we're sure that Noboru's works will continue to captivate audiences for a long time to come.
私はね、もう66なんですけれども、なんか人からね、いつまで経っても子供みたいだなと言われますね。
Next up, Styrofoam whiz Yoshiaki Kaihatsu also has a few surprises in store for us over in Yokohama, Japan. Japan is a country known for its recycling culture and clean streets. In the land of innovative gadgets and electronics, laws are in place to ensure that manufacturers and retailers are in charge of collecting used appliances to help keep the country clean.
もともといろんな仕事をしたりとか、いろんな出会いの中で、そのアートのためのアートというよりは、日常にあるいろんなものに興味があって、でその中で、発泡スチロールとかホコリとかっていうのは、その誰もケアしないというか、誰もこう見向きもしないものに対してすごく興味がある。
A graduate from Tama Art University, Yoshiaki Kaihatsu has attained worldwide fame with his one-of-a-kind artworks. When he's not holding exhibitions across New York, Berlin, and Venice, Yoshiaki can usually be found transforming materials like recycled styrofoam into art at a massive facility by the sea.
ですね、ここはもともと横浜トリエンナーレっていう国際展をやるために作られた場所なんですけども、そこが今空きスペースになったところにアーティストがスタジオを作って、50組ぐらいですかね、制作をしてます。
Yoshiaki takes us to his haunt, an out-of-this-world space-age shelter.
ですね、発泡スチロールの作品です。で、これは見るといろんな形がありますね。こう、多分これはDVD パックしてたものだったりとか、あとステレオだったりとか、電化製品の、発泡スチロールが多いです。でそれを、中古の発泡スチロールを使っていて、その何でしょう、こう使われなくなったものを僕がこう回収して、で新しい形に変えている作品です。
For Yoshiaki, the process taken to reach the final product is just as important as the end result. So it comes as little surprise that every step from conceptualizing to collecting styrofoam and molding it into a new shape is treated with utmost care. Yoshiaki sees the beauty in these well-designed forms that quickly lose their importance and worth once the products that they hold are removed. Over in Singapore, artist Bart is fueling his creative inspirations with packaging material of another kind.
After it's just cardboard, so it's not meant to last forever. But at least during its life cycle, it can bring some fun to the kids.
For the past 3 years, Bart has been steadily building up his portfolio with an impressive array of works, such as the cardboard Tron for the Luminance Light Art Festival. One of his proudest accomplishments to date, however, is a larger-than-life sculpture of a beloved icon in modern pop culture.
I create the Mario out of the die-cut waste of my cardboard Legos. I actually got a lot of square pieces lying around my studio, so that's the idea that came about, to create a pixel art of the Super Mario. In order to make it more portable, so I decided to make it into 3 sections. It's much easier to carry it around. And it's made out of cardboard, so it's very lightweight.
An average sculpture can use up to a few dozen cardboard pieces at a time, so it's a good thing that Bart has a constant supply of recycled cardboard to sustain his creative impulses.
We actually get all the recycled cardboard from Tuas, these cardboard factories who is very supportive of our activities, and they actually give us the recycled cardboard for free.
With Bart's huge passion for cardboard and his dedication in spreading the love of cardboard art to the younger generation, it comes as little surprise that his latest art project involves the world's first green library for children in Singapore.
His artwork focused on making use of recycled cardboard. This is really in line with the objective and mission of this library as well, having a recycled art exhibition. So I think there's a very good match for both of us, where he can provide the art and sculptures to the children, and at the same time we can appreciate the art form.
In order to fulfill his mission to transform the children's library into a green wonderland, Bart enlists the help of several young cardboard enthusiasts.
Today we have a group of students from St. Gabriel Primary School. They are helping us to build cardboard Lego transformers, which is going to be displayed inside the Children's Green Library.
The crowning glory of the Green Library, however, is a giant treetop made from recycled plastic bottles.
As you can see, this tree house itself, more than 5,000 bottles were collected. We did not know where to store them. So actually we converted part of our storeroom from this library itself to store these bottles.
Another challenge the team faced in completing their artistic vision of the Green Library concerned the final shape and size of the treetop.
As you know, the recycled bottles come in different shapes and sizes. We decided that we could only afford to select one standard size, which could fit into the grid of the fishing nets, preventing them from falling down.
Finally, all that was left was to put the finishing touches to the Green Library, just in time for its opening launch.
What you see here is called a weather stump. The actual use of this weather stump is to educate children on the environment around us.
Thanks to the creative efforts of Bart and the rest of the team, it looks like Singapore's Green Library for Children will be a roaring success for a long time to come. Stay tuned as we travel to Taipei and read between the lines of Chen Long Bin's booktastic sculptures. In Taiwan, 179 tons of bulk waste are collected and reused every day. Amongst them are countless books, and at an art gallery in central Taipei, an imaginative artist has discovered a way to recycle them.
它感觉上好像是 sandstone， 像那个砂岩一样。然后许多人会觉得说，哎，这个很硬。那许多人甚至很接近去看的都不知道这是书做的，直到有人看到这个背后面这个东西书背的时候。
Chen Longbin has seemingly gone against nature, turning pages and pages of paper back into wood. His artworks, resembling wooden sculptures, have been featured in exhibitions around the world in the past 2 decades. The award-winning artist collects books and magazines from libraries, bookstores and trash cans, and considers them the cultural debris of the information society.
我是用单百科全书为主去切这个东西，去切这个 Renaissance， 就是文艺复兴人的这样子。这个作品它就不只有造型美的意义或材质感，它同时还有观念上面的意义。
Longbin mourns the loss of books, which were once aesthetic objects with beautiful typesetting, bound by luxurious leather.
在90年代的时候，因为就是 personal computer 它变得越来越普遍，所以我那时候觉得说，把书本毁坏掉 ，transform 转变成一个艺术形式，是一个新的、合理的，而且有充分理由的，而且我找到一个对的方式来发展这个方向。
The 49-year-old was taking his master's at the School of Visual Arts in New York back in 1993 when it all began. He was intrigued by his classmate's suggestion to use woodwork tools to sculpt phone books.
电话簿它又非常好玩，它的触感啊，它的那个被切完之后，它纸张的那个感觉非常特别。
At his workshop below his home, Long Bin is working on a new series of modern-day warriors, fighting for their cultural identity.
这种东西因为它是纸张，纸张一般人的概念是它不永久，所以许多人看到是纸的东西就不愿意花钱。虽然说他们喜欢，但他们不愿意花钱。
Finding a commercial market might be a challenge, but the conceptual value of his artwork is priceless.
头花最久的时间，因为你要去计算它书本的大小，还有你要的那个造型，然后你还要再算那个榫接的尺寸。
With all the figures at hand, Long Bin gets down to the real work. The sculptor works his tool like a magician as art begins to take shape.
木头它可以用那个刀片，它可以用切的，用敲的。 但纸呢，由于它到 detail 的时候，它只能用机器去磨。像这一类的那种，就是它有不同的头，你换不同的头出来之后，它是有不同的那个结果。
Long Bin is a pioneer in fashioning book sculptures to great success, and imitators do not faze him.
如果说他只 copy 一件作品，通常没办法很深入。人家说哦，这个是从哪边过来，很清楚。那我可能是比较坚持吧，做了快20年这样。
As physical books slowly lose their relevance in the digital age, and public libraries gradually turn into museums, Long Bin's sculptures may well stand the test of time. And from what we've seen of our other enterprising artists so far, these everyday items definitely won't be the only ones with a shot at immortality.